Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new legal breaking reporting and video analysis update. Today, we have an update between the Trump administration's bogus, unlawful, illegal attempt, judging by Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's lack of a criminal background and their bogus charges on him supposedly smuggling, even though we all know that's not what his job was. It was a sheet metal worker in the state of Maryland. We have a report and an update on their attempts to illegally threaten to deport him. So let's break down all of the new legal breaking details from the Columnist Times, from the Judge Barbara Holmes' perspective and what she is determining. And it is just so you guys know, it is not in favor of the Trump administration or regime. It's not even an administration at this point, it's a regime. Let's get into it. Like I said, the article is by the Columnist Times. Ladies and gentlemen, the article is titled, Judge Delays Abrego Garcia's Release from Tennessee Jail Over Deportation Concerns. Kilmar Abrego Garcia will stay in jail for now over concerns from his lawyers that he could be deported if he's released to await his trial on human smuggling charges, a federal judge in Tennessee ruled on Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, just because Kilmar Abrego Garcia is back in the United States does not mean that they're off the hook with their orders to return him back to his home where he was illegally, unlawfully kidnapped, abducted, and deported and shipped off to El Salvador. The Justice Department, as well as the Trump regime, rerouted him unlawfully to Tennessee to face human smuggling charges. Smuggling charges. I say that in air quotes, ladies and gentlemen, because of the timing of the charges. This is not due process, nor how due process works. This is not covered under this bogus immunity bullshit. Let's get into the article. And the article reads, ladies and gentlemen, Kilmar Abrego Garcia will stay in jail for now over concerns from his lawyers that he could be deported if he's released to await his trial on human smuggling charges. A federal judge in Tennessee ruled Monday. Abrego Garcia's attorneys had asked the federal judge to delay his release because of what they described as, quote, extraordinary statements, unquote, by ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to call Trump president because this piece of crap is not a president. So I'm going to just call him Trump. Trump's regime over what would happen to the Salvadoran national. The lawyers wrote in a brief to the court Friday that, quote, we cannot put any faith in the representation made on this issue, unquote, by the Justice Department, adding that the irony of this request is not lost on anyone, unquote. Justice Department spokesperson Chad Gilmartin told the Associated Press on Thursday that the department intends to try Abrego Garcia on the smuggling charges before it moves to deport him, stating that Abrego Garcia, quote, has been charged with horrific crimes, including trafficking children, and will not walk free in our country again, unquote. Mr. Gilmartin is lying, ladies and gentlemen. Abrego Garcia's background is clean. He was only stopped in 2022, which is where this case is stemming from. A 2022 traffic stop to where the Tennessee Highway Patrol stopped him but let him go based on a warning on an expired license. Let him go. Which, ladies and gentlemen, means that he was not arrested, detained, or booked in the county jail. Let's continue. Hours earlier, Justice Department Attorney Jonathan Guyon told a federal judge in Maryland that the government plans to deport Abrego Garcia to a third country that isn't El Salvador. Guyon, G-U-Y-N-N, said there was no timeline for the deportation plans. Abrego Garcia's attorneys on Friday cited Guyon's G-U-Y-N-N'-S comments as reason to fear he would be deported, quote, immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the Justice Department and the Trump administration are not off the hook at all. Even with the case in Maryland, because they rerouted him illegally without the consent of either courts, the Supreme Court or the Federal District Court in Maryland. Both Federal District Court, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, and the Supreme Court told them to bring him back to Maryland, which they did not do. They rerouted him unlawfully without direction to Tennessee. Continuing with the article, ladies and gentlemen, in the legal breaking news reporting. Abrego Garcia, a construction worker who had been living in Maryland, became a flashpoint over Trump's hardline immigration policies when he was mistakenly deported to his native country, El Salvador, in March. Facing mounting pressure and a Supreme Court order, Trump's Republican administration returned him this month to face the smuggling charges, which his attorneys have called preposterous. Ladies and gentlemen, I agree with his attorneys. These charges, they're a bunch of bullshit. A bunch of bullshit, chumped up charges, ladies and gentlemen, because they filed the charges before he was indicted. And ladies and gentlemen, those that know the rule of law know that charges have to be brought before they're indicted and before they're deported / before they're punished. Not after they're deported and punished. This is not due process. This is not the way the law of the land works. Bullshit. And this does not or is not covered under immunity. So if that piece of shit in the Oval Office, yeah, you, Trump, if you try to claim immunity, you piece of shit, you are effectively gonna fail at it, just like you failed numerous times. Because this is not covered under official acts. Illegally deporting somebody is not covered under an official act. You dumbass motherfucker. Let's get back into the legal breaking reporting by the Columbus Times. In a response to the request by Abrego Garcia's attorneys Friday, acting U.S. Attorney Rob McGuire agreed to delaying Abrego Garcia's release. He reiterated his stance that Abrego Garcia should remain in jail before trial. The prosecutor also said he lacks jurisdiction over U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, stating he has no way to prevent Abrego Garcia's deportation. The Department of Homeland Security, which included ICE, did not respond directly to a request from the question from the Associated Press on Friday regarding its plans for Abrego Garcia. A DHS spokesperson, Tricia McLaughlin, said in a statement that he will never go free on American soil. Abrego Garcia's attorneys have accused the Trump administration of bringing Abrego Garcia back to convict him in the court of public opinion, with the intention of deporting him before he has a chance to defend himself at trial. Quote, "In a just world, he would not seek to prolong his detention further," unquote, his attorneys wrote. Abrego Garcia's attorneys have asked the judge to delay his release until a July 16 court hearing, which will consider a request by prosecutors to revoke Abrego Garcia's release order while he awaits trial. Abrego Garcia pleaded not guilty on June 13 to smuggling charges that his attorneys have characterized as an attempt to justify his mistaken expulsion to a notorious prison in El Salvador. When the administration of Donald Trump deported Abrego Garcia in March, it violated a U.S. immigration judge's order that barred his expulsion to his native country. The immigration judge had found that Abrego Garcia faced a credible threat from gangs that had terrorized him and his family. The human smuggling charges pending against Abrego Garcia stem from a 2022 traffic stop for speeding in Tennessee, during which Abrego Garcia was driving a vehicle with 9 passengers without luggage. U.S. Magistrate Judge Barbara Holmes in Nashville wrote in a ruling Sunday that federal prosecutors failed to show that Abrego Garcia was a flight risk or a danger to the community. During a court hearing Wednesday, Holmes set specific conditions for Abrego Garcia's release that included him living with his brother, a U.S. citizen in Maryland, but she had held off on releasing him over concerns that prosecutors can't prevent ICE from deporting him. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this legal breaking reporting and video analysis update and legal breaking reporting and breaking news reporting. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting, video analysis update, and legal breaking reporting, please firstly like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Secondly, if you guys would like to make sure you're always up to date on other things legal breaking reporting, why is on the side of politics, please Follow me on my social medias that'll be linked down below in the video description. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. There you guys will be updated instantly, ladies and gentlemen, on when I upload brand new legal breaking reporting analysis videos to the channel. You guys can also be sure that you stay up to date on other things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics by hitting the bell icon as well as the all notifications option. It does not cost anything. There's no money involved to subscribing and hitting the bell icon. It's completely free. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 190 plus subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm saying 190 plus subscribers is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 190 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 190 subscribers. Fifthly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive. Please stay safe. And always look for the points of light in today's unfortunate illegal induced darkness caused by the illegal, unconstitutional Trump administration, Trump regime. And I look forward to talking to you guys in my next legal breaking reporting video analysis update and legal breaking reporting video tomorrow.